Linius Technologies recently announced it would be partnering with the Essendon Bombers Football Club to make its video software available to players and coaches. The ASX-listed startup has big plans, not just to transform the experience of sports fans, but also to partner with other broadcasters to enhance the way all of us experience video content. Daniel Ellison spoke with Linius CEO Chris from the west coast of the United States and began by asking him about the purpose of this trip.
We're over in San Francisco really working with our local staff on the ground here and meeting with U.S. investors who have invested in the Linius technology and with current and prospective clients all up and down the West Coast, really. I'm in San Francisco today. I was in L.A. yesterday, and we're seeing a bunch of heavyweights, if you will, from the media and entertainment space that are pretty exciting for Linius.
So reading the press release and then going and having a look at your website and some of the videos there, I think it's incredibly exciting technology, and I believe the future is video, and the ability to take that data and leverage it into something else is very exciting. But when you're speaking to these investors in 30 seconds, what do you say is Linius's competitive edge?
It's not about a competitive edge. What Linius does is completely transformative. We have a globally patented technology, which we call video virtualization. And we could talk more about what that is, either from a technical perspective or a business perspective. But the bottom line is it transforms the entire world of video. And I think the easiest and most obvious thing to think about is that video is hard to use today. Video is great. You can go watch it and see video all over the internet. And Netflix is wonderful and YouTube is wonderful. But if you try and start using video the way you use a book or even a web page, you quickly realize it's impossible. Try searching a video for a couple sections that you care about as opposed to flipping through a book. Right? It just doesn't work the same way. And our technology makes that and literally dozens of other applications possible by, well, again, doing what we call virtualization of the video.
Great. So you mentioned on the website the ability to there's obviously a lot of archive footage out there that Linius will be able to utilize. Have you guys got an understanding of actually how much out there is to unlock that could be, how much potential is out there?
It's almost an unimaginably large number. The current projections are that by next year, north of 80% of the traffic on the internet will be video. And that's just current generation video, never mind the huge archives. And one of the things that was a little surprising to us, we operate in a whole bunch of different sectors, and right now we're getting a lot of traction, in particular in sports. But one of the places that we operate is in the security and defense space. And the private networks that aren't the internet, for example, the military networks and these sorts of things, actually generate even more video than exists on the internet today. You're right, video is the future. Everybody is moving that direction. The question is, how do you make that video more useful to people, more engaging, more thought-provoking, more searchable, more relevant? And Linius empowers all of that.
It's funny. It's a question I've been asking myself as well. Is all this video out there? Surely someone's going to find a way to use it.
Exactly. And we make using it possible. Really, I mean, I came to this company from a technology background, and one of the reasons I joined it was because it really is one of the most transformative things that I've ever seen. But even coming in with a technology background and that perspective, it remains shocking to me to this day that every client with whom we interact comes up with a new application for our virtualization technology that we've never thought of ourselves before. It really is transformative.
That must be very exciting, Chris. But do you find people like getting it instantly when you explain it to them, or is there a bit of pushback, a bit of confusion?
I think if I'm honest, if I look at the history of the company, we weren't great at explaining it when we first started. We knew the power of the technology, but we were only understanding it and therefore only capable of explaining it in a way that really resonated with the deepest video tech junkies out there. I think one of the things that's really changed internally at Linius in the last year that's enabled us to start winning deals and winning some big names and getting market validation and traction is our ability to communicate that message to our clients. And the easiest way to see that is with what we're doing on the sports side. If you look at what we've done with Racing.com and what we're doing with Sports Hero, those deals happened. In fact, just recently, the Essendon stuff, all of these things happened because we were able to sit down in front of the client and show them a demonstration that instantly resonated with them. They instantly connected with it, could say, oh, I get that immediately. And that is something that historically we have struggled with, but I think we're there now, and it's really starting to take.
Thanks very much, Chris. Essendon fans would be very excited to hear all this. But do you think the fans will be getting access to this software anytime soon, or will it just be the players and coaches?
I think it's going to be players and coaching to start and using the back end, but ultimately it's going to be for all the fans. And ultimately it's not just going to be Essendon. We're going to take it to all of AFL. And ultimately, the AFL, the Essendon deal, that came on the back of Sports Hero, which was 60 million to 80 million football fans, football meaning soccer in this case, in Indonesia. And, of course, AFL is a wonderful sport, and I enjoy going down to the MCG, but in the grand scheme of things, it's the tip of the iceberg. And so what we're able to do across all sports and all news and all content to deliver genuinely personalized TV channel experiences unique to each individual is going to be really powerful everywhere.
But you'd say that you'd be targeting Australians for this as people that would be pretty engaged in this kind of software. Is that right?
Absolutely. Our business model is B2B, so we sell our software to the people who own the content rights, whether that be football clubs or leagues or things outside of sports entirely, things in the education vertical, things in corporate communication. But ultimately, it is about the end user. And sure, sport's a huge deal in Australia, and we definitely think the fans are going to be engaging with this across AFL today, Racing.com today, and hopefully a lot more sports in the future.
And in Australia, are there? I know it's just the tip of the iceberg, but are there other codes that Linius would really like to target and get involved with?
Absolutely, and we are targeting all of those in Australia and also the big international sports as well. So for sure, we're talking to NRL, we're talking to NBL, we're talking to cricket, we're talking to cricket internationally, off in India and the UK, and it's a matter of time before all of these things transform to the point where each fan can get exactly the content they want. And I think that, in some level, that the idea is obvious, that everybody wants to see exactly what they want to see. But there are kind of two things that really resonate. One is I want my personalized channel, where that channel experience is not just the highlights reel of my club, but it's my genuine experience. It's, I want to see this particular coach and this particular player. And, I really want to see when my enemy team loses or when they have a foul or a penalty, and constructing this idea of exactly what my content should be. And the second part, which kind of goes hand in hand with that, is tying it to a time frame. You can imagine scenarios like you've driven and you're parked in the parking lot waiting for your child to come out of school or waiting for somebody to come out of the shopping mall. And you say, hey, I want 5 minutes or 7 minutes of exactly my favorite highlights. And that power to extract exactly what you want from the world of video, I think it's a game changer for everybody.
Well, Chris, you must be very, very excited about the opportunities that seem to be ahead of Linius.
Absolutely. This is a growth story. Linius is a technology startup. We started from a concept and a few patents. We turned that into what we believe is game-changing software that affects the entire video industry. And now we've moved to the commercialization stage where we're starting to get traction, and it's up and away from here. Of course, it's not going to be an overnight success. This is not going to be $1 billion tomorrow, but the size of deals that we're talking about and the size of the market opportunity is many, many, many billions. And it's, how fast can we get there and get it? And now that we're starting to get actual revenue generating deals in a couple different verticals, it's off and away.